Hi everyone, welcome to our show, View from the Corners Office. In today's episode, we have Vikesh Wallia, sir. Vikesh, sir, has around 4 decades of experience. He's currently MD and editor at Board Stewardship, a board research and advisory firm. In addition, he holds multiple non for profit board positions, including Institute of Directors, IOD Foundation, and Council for Fair Business Practices. He is also a former board member of Times of India Group, a joint venture between Times Group and BBC. He has an unparalleled record of leading the training of over 1,000 existing and aspiring board directors in India. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Yeah, hi, Gunarjan. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really pleased and so very happy to speaking with you. You are sitting in London and I'm here in Mumbai. And thank you very much for inviting me.
So it's my pleasure, sir. And let's directly jump into the first question, which is we would love to know more about, or we love to know about your childhood. How was it growing up?
Oh, when I look, there are two parts to it. One part is when I was experiencing my childhood. And second part is now when I look back at it in retrospect. When it was happening, my dad had multiple jobs in different cities and locations, and that kept me moving from places like Aligarh, a small town in Uttar Pradesh, Dehradun, Bareilly, Kanpur, Mumbai. So I traveled across multiple cities and I used to wonder what is happening to me. But yeah, nonetheless, it was enjoyable because meeting new people, different languages and different cultures. Even the state of Uttar Pradesh is far bigger than UK in terms of size and population many times. So that used to be a fun part. But now when I look back at it in retrospect, I realized that it was kind of a tourist period of my life, that I was going places, enjoying and having fun in different places with different kind of people. And that's how my childhood passed away. And I grew up to be an adult. And now I see that, yes, it was a very enjoyable period of my life.
That's wonderful to hear. And I think, like you were saying, since you were traveling and meeting new cultures, new people during your childhood, are there any key values in life that can be attributed to your childhood?
Oh, very much. Now retrospect, I realize that moving places, meeting different people added great value to my mindset and my thinking. It helps you meet new people, be helpful, network, make new friends. These were the basic things that I learned, not realizing that this is going to be so very valuable to me for rest of my life. Because you go to a place and you have to make new friends. It is just like joining a new company and you have to make new colleagues as your friends, or going to a new city like London. If I go for a conference for a couple of hours in that conference, I have to meet new people, suddenly not knowing what they are, who they are, and introducing and making friends with them, spending time with them, exchanging notes. All that started very early in my life as a child. I think this is the greatest value that I can attribute to my childhood period.
And moving on, so as we can see, you have had a long and illustrious career in sales and marketing. What key similarities and differences do you see in this field when you started out to now?
Well, I must say I was fortunate enough to start my career in sales and marketing. I started in the chairman's office at Modi Group for a couple of months. And then as it happens to executive trainees, they are moved out into different roles. So my role was to meet customers, understand what they want, and all companies try to do that. The field jobs are given to the new executive trainees so that they get to understand the customer's perspective. And that continued longer for me in that job for many years. And that took me to Delhi, that took me to Jaipur, Rajasthan, Calcutta, Patna, Guwahati, Northeast, and Bangladesh, Bhutan, all those places I went across. So it gave me a real insight into what the customers want, where they are, and different kind of experiences came. Growing up, it became, an experience in mergers and acquisitions, setting up new regions, setting up new companies. And then I transited to the media world, from the FMCG companies to media with Times of India Group for good 20 years. And there also, although my key role was in sales and marketing, but additional responsibilities and opportunities came to me in terms of collaborating with companies like the finest companies like The Economist. We collaborated for Times of India, and that was a wonderful experience. And then working for a company that was a JV between Times of India Group and BBC. So that was a different experience. And that way, as you rise to the senior level, you get different exposure. And finally, the board positions. And now from boards, where do you go? When you are over with your executive career, you have to start a non-executive career. And that's where I landed up. And I fell in love with corporate governance and this institution called Institute of Directors. I did a masterclass with them. I became a fellow member of Institute of Directors. And ever since, I have stayed focused only on corporate governance for the last nearly 10 years. So this has been, transit from sales marketing to P&L roles to board role, and now to non-executive roles. So this has been a very exciting journey.
I think that's been a massive transition from sales and marketing to now what you're doing in corporate governance. And I would love to touch upon your boardroom experience, because I think, like in your introduction, you help a lot of aspiring and you help a lot of existing and aspiring board of directors in their journey. So any instance that you can share from your board experience which was very challenging, and how did you tackle that challenge?
Oh, there had been multiple situations, and particularly sitting in the audit committee of Worldwide Media Private Limited, which was a JV company. It was full of challenges because one had to meet the requirements of audit not only for India but also for UK, and those were really big challenges. And third audit responsibility used to be the Audit Bureau of Circulation audits. That was also very, very important. So audit committee was a big challenge to merge the requirements of all these three, ensure that's not only the company's balance sheet, but all other audits are also in sync with that audit committee requirement. So that used to be quite interesting and challenging. And BBC experiences were very, very fulfilling because they used to bring the global perspective. And when we were in the JV, they acquired Lonely Planet from Australia, and that was a new title that we had to support and handle. So that collaboration, so those things happening, so those were all very, very interesting experiences and times at the Times Group and sitting in the board. These discussions were very, very fulfilling and interesting.
Saying, and like you have been in senior leadership roles, and similarly you would have met a lot of leaders in your tenure, and right now you are training a lot of board members or board directors, I would say. Is there any common trait that you see among the leaders that make them reach to the top, and most importantly, help them sustain?
Well, there is only one common trait, apart from being strong at the hard skills, they have to be great at soft skills as well. When you're at the top, only the softer skills make the difference. Your attitude towards people, your relationship with people, how do you gel with them, how do you trust them? Because ultimately, everything becomes remote. One day you have to stop saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to show it to you. You can't anymore do that. That has to be delegated to someone else, and see that he makes it happen, not you make it happen. So that trust, collaboration, distant approach, remote control management is a huge skill. And I think when people are at the top managing a remote control, understanding how the remote control functions, what are the buttons, which button will trigger what, that is the most valuable trait that the top management people must have. Because you can't do anything. If you're a non-executive director today, there's nothing you can get into the company for hardly, a couple of hours in a quarter's time, not even 20 hours or 30 hours or 50 hours in 3 months. How much can you be hands-on? You have to accept being hands-off. Now that's the big challenge, transition from being hands-on to being hands-off. So that trait is a very valuable trait. Those who can successfully transit from executive hands-on to non-executive hands-off, those people really make longer careers between the executive career and the non-executive careers.
I think that was a very valuable lesson for people, especially who are transitioning from executive core hands-on role to how do you delegate and trust people when you are non-executive, and when you are not, when you don't have the power to make the change, but you have the power to decide on few things. So it's really interesting anecdote which you pointed out. And this brings us to the last section and the last part of the episode. We would, I think the audience, especially the Gen Z and millennials, is there any message that you would love to give them that aspire to be a board member or reach the top and learn from your experiences?
Well, they must complete the cycle of executive career successfully. They must find opportunities of being in different geographies, being in different functions within the same company, job rotations, different assignments. They should take it up willingly. Normally, I find people, if they are in brand management, they don't want to go on field jobs. Those who are in one country, they don't want to go to a difficult country. You have to get across to different countries, different experiences, experience different cultures, and then get to the top. Then getting to the top becomes easier. If you have not experienced different roles, staying within one company is valuable, but within the one company also, two experiences must be acquired, different geographies and different functions. If you're an HR person, see to it that you can get some other line job as well. And if you are a line manager in, say, sales and marketing, try your hands at operations in commercials and supply chain management. Only when you do multiple assignments, that rounds off your experience well, that makes you a well grounded manager, and that is what takes you to the top. If you are a mile deep person, you have nowhere to go. You will remain a functional person. You have to be an inch wide deep and a mile wide. That's what takes you to the top.
Like you said, horizontal learnings will take you to much higher in your value chain and help you grow faster and reach to the top. So a wonderful lesson once again. And finally, this brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for doing this, sir.
Thank you very much, Gunarjan, for inviting me. It's really been pleasure speaking with you. I hope this video and audio reaches many more people and they benefit courtesy your effort and time on this activity. Thank you very much, and looking forward again being with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
And
you.
for the viewers, until next time, bye bye, guys. Thank you.